Hey everyone. Since this movie initially came out earlier this year in its most recent restoration, but we eager to talk about it. I even wanted to see it theatrically. Hey, but as it often does, budget and life got in the way of what I had envisioned. And still, I am very glad that my favorite of this director's Hong Kong films has been lovingly restored, heard in all its glory. So I present my thoughts on the 4K restoration of the John Woo classic Hard Boiled. So let's begin. The film stars host Chow Ho Yun Fat as Inspector Tequila and Tony Long as an enigmatic individual known as Alan, as the two become involved with an international weapons smuggling ring, which not only had to break up, but also oh, unravel a much darker story at its center. And it's definitely among multiple early works of Wu's that has held considerable influence on both sides of the Pacific, not just in terms of film, but also games as well. And in fact, got its own follow up in game form on the PS3 known as Stranglehold, but that's matter for another day. Hey, I will say, that there's a lot of elements that have become um, actually appreciate in their own right. Uh, Even its soundtrack was also quite unique, especially. It turns out that how that jazz club that he's living above of and the whole tune intro, but something that the director had been wanting to include in some of his previous works, including Being Better Tomorrow. Oh, but he only was able to realize this now. There's also a multitude of set pieces and action scenes that benefit from this restoration, especially including the opening in, in gunfight in the tea house, the warehouse house fight, and my personal favorites, the retaking in the hospital, including the long take from when they breach the door all the way when they reach the where the villains are holed up, being carefully done in a single 2 minute and 42-second shot, so much that the Criterion version, which is actually finally being reprinted after such a long time, has it as its own little one, fittingly known as 2 minutes 42 seconds, and especially he he appreciative that it's also finally being brought back after such a long time. And as soon as I have the means to do so, it's on high priority, especially since I now if I have a means to play them on, expanding with 4Ks in my collection, and I cannot really stress enough how much I love this film. I've seen it numerous times. So I'm trying to remember when my exact first time was, but it's one that whenever I get a chance to visit it, I definitely take advantage. Which I especially I can say that that my preferred one is like the subtitles as opposed to the dub main, and it's definitely hey hey want to have no issue who with Mark is my favorite of Wu's filmography, especially just narrowing it down to This works even in but it's I am not the only one that feels this way I've established. I mean, as in fact, to this day, hey, it's still I'll actually consider to be one of the greatest hits of its time, if not of all time, in terms of action films. And definitely, it was either going to be this or something else that's got considerable acclaim tonight. Because one of the things I'm going to be talking about next is not even a fraction as good as this, and ended up being pretty infamous for very different reasons. And but still, if you have seen this great. If you haven't, this latest restoration is definitely one you want to check out. Count on that. That will be all for now. Oh, I am definitely also do my best to finish my full look at ZA for next month, as well as getting Mario Galaxy tickets. So that'll be all for now. So take care, everyone.